Alright, how's everybody doing? Hope you guys are ready for my first paranormal video. This will be the first of many more to come. And I know there's a lot of people out there that really enjoy these kind of videos, myself being one of them. And like I've said before, all the stories I tell on my channel are all my personal experiences, and they're all 100% true. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Here we go. I've had many paranormal experiences starting from a very early age, growing up in the projects. Like I said, all the way from like about 5 years old, I can remember some of these, things that happened to me. I remember many nights I would wake up because I would hear talking, strange, unfamiliar voices in my bedroom at night. I shared a room with my brother. We'll call him SD. Those are his initials. Who was a couple years older than me. So he was probably maybe 7 or 8 at the time. But he never heard the voices or saw what I saw. And I know some people are going to say, well, maybe you were just dreaming. But my 3 sisters confirmed they also saw spirits on many occasions and heard, a lot of strange things too. So I know it wasn't just me or my imagination. Most nights it would start out the same way. I would be sleeping and I would hear strange voices. So I would open my eyes and look, and I would see people dressed like from the 1800s or 1700s, dressed really fancy like they were at a social event or party. So the only way I know how to describe it is the men looked like they were wearing those wigs that the men used to wear back in those days, and just dressed really fancy, old-fashioned style stuff. I guess you would call it Victorian, I think is the term for that. But anyway, it always looked like they were at a social event or party because they would always have drinks in their hands, and they would just be talking and having a good time. And I think sometimes they would even be dancing, ballroom dancing or something. And so I would usually watch them a while, 5 to 10 minutes maybe, and it would usually end the same way. One of them would see me peeking from under my blankets, so they would just see that, like a little kid watching them, And then it would point to me, and they would all start talking louder and looking at me, saying stuff like, "He could see us," And some of them would smile and laugh, but most of them would look very surprised or shocked. Then they would usually start moving towards me, and that's when, it would get scary. That's when I would usually cover my head with the blanket or yell for my dad. Sometimes my brother would wake up and tell me to, shut up and go back to sleep. He'd be like, "Boy, what the heck are you yelling about?" And I would usually tell him, "There's ghosts in the room or weird old people, And he would be like, "Boy, whatever, go back to sleep and be quiet, So I saw some other weird things too, I saw some pretty other, weird other things in our room before too. And one of the other things that I saw that was really freaking strange was one night, I woke up because I got this really weird feeling like something was staring at me. So I opened my eyes, and floating in the middle of the room between myself and my brother's bed was this thing that looked like a freaking round moon or like an asteroid type thing with craters in it. And it had freaking tentacles coming out of most of the craters, and also several large eyeballs in the other craters. It also had at least one mouth that I could see, and of course it had a bunch of razor sharp teeth in it, It just kind of floated there staring at me with the tentacles just wiggling around, I don't know if it was a freaking demon or some type of interdimensional being. Who knows, but it was pretty freaking weird looking. And once again, I covered my head and I started praying, and when I looked again, that thing was gone. And then, I yelled for my dad, he came, see what was what was wrong with me. And my dad would usually come to the room and he would sit with me until I fell back to sleep. Sometimes he would bring me warm milk and Mexican sweet bread or cookies. I don't remember if he believed me or not about the spirits. It was such a long time ago. But he would always comfort me and tell me not to be afraid. The next part of this story is very personal to me, but I'm going to share because it's part of the story. My father actually died when I was 6, but the really weird, freaky thing, just made it even, harder, was he actually died on my birthday during the night. He died from a massive heart attack. My mama, of course, was extremely traumatized by this, as well as, all my brothers and sisters too. I was extremely close with my dad. I was a total daddy's boy with him all the time. And of course, I used to get my butt kicked by my older brothers and sisters for that, hating, because I was the baby. So I took it really hard, obviously everybody did, but I was so young, I really didn't understand what was going on. But, I've had a lot of time to deal with it, but of course it's still something that gets me a little emotional even now, But, the reason I brought this up is because I honestly don't remember if it was before or after my dad died, but right around the time that he died, I remember one night laying in the bed and I couldn't sleep, I was up crying, or something, and I just remember getting a horrible dark feeling, and I don't know what was, like I said, I don't remember if it was before or after my dad died, but I just remember I couldn't sleep and I was upset about something. And I got this weird feeling, like this dark feeling. So I opened my eyes to see if something was there. And standing at the foot of my bed, about 7 feet tall, was a hooded figure with skeleton hands holding a bladed sickle-type weapon. All I can see was the bottom half of his face, his skeleton mouth. I just remember covering my head with the blanket and I began praying. I looked up like maybe, 2 to 3 minutes later and he was gone. So, basically what most people would say the Grim Reaper looks like, That's what I saw, After my dad passed away, my sisters, reported hearing footsteps in the hallway at night. It sounded like my dad's footsteps, like he was still watching over us. Because when he was alive, our dad used to always do that. Like at night, he would walk up and down the house, because it was like a long house or apartment, whatever you want to call it, but it was like 5 bedrooms, and it was long, like rectangular shaped, had a long hallway. And at night, sometimes he would walk, down the hallway and like check on all of us, and to make sure we were okay, That's just the way he was. He was always making sure we were safe, But like I said, my sisters, and I don't remember if my brothers heard it too or not, but they said they would hear our dad's footsteps in the hallway, but we were all too scared to look, see if he was out there. Because, sometimes, like, when stuff like that happens, like, people want to say, like, maybe it's not your relative, their spirit. It could be something else trying to fool you, I guess. And I'm not saying that that's what I, believe it was, but it's definitely scary, even if it is your loved one, like, because, they're not supposed to be there anymore, So, So the scariest thing that happened to me during this time that I can remember happened, I believe, 2 or 3 nights after my father's death. My mom was getting ready for bed, and as she laid in her bed, getting ready to go to sleep, the bed went down on the other side where my dad used to sleep, as if someone had just sat on the bed. Also, the picture of my dad on the nightstand next to her flew off the nightstand, and my mom screamed, and my sisters and older brothers came running to her room. You know, she was pretty shook up, you know, understandably by this, you know, and also because she was still very grief struck. So we all went to stay with my mom's comadre, you know, my mom's homegirl for a couple nights, and you know, that was kind of fun, you know, staying over there. But yeah, it was definitely, you know, a sad time, and there was some scary stuff that happened, you know. But as far as I can remember, after a couple weeks, you know, all that, you know, just kind of went away. You know, at least the stuff to do with, you know, with my pops, you know. But like I said, you know, I have many more paranormal experiences, and I'll have those coming out like, you know, maybe like every couple of weeks or something. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one. For now, that's it. Your homeboy, Big Cisco. Peace.